Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses.
Perfectly
He's the
timed.
Big A, Andy, he's the Big A, Anthony
I'm
Stabile.
Anthony
I'm Andy
Stabile.
Sterling. Right, I'm Andy. He's Anthony. We're laughing at our good friend Frank Miramati doing the Monmouth show right now. But we are on, and we have 11 today here at the first Saturday at Belmont at the Big A.
Yes, I mean, how could you be more excited?
Well, it's another first. I mean, every day is a first in so many
It's
ways.
a brave new world, Andy.
Could be a first day for you to be a member of Naira Bets.
Yes.
And head
Otherwise,
on over.
Eric Cancel's going to come get you.
Eric's right. If Eric, you don't sign up, Eric's going to come and get you. There you have it. $200 match. We will match $200 of initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200 and play through Naira Bets. We have a bankroll builder here. Let's see if you and I can figure that out. So we have 50 to win in the Woodbine Mile, and you get $20 for fall racing. Well, I assume that means it comes right in your account, right? You get $20 back.
I guess.
Modern Games, the heavy favorite there. I have not looked at the. I've glanced through it.
Modern Games, the favorite. There's a blog up. It's the must-bet race of the week over at Naira Bets.
Okay.
So you can head
Don't
over
give out
there.
your selection. We
I
want you to
won't.
go to Naira Bets, check it out. And the show today. The show is 12:30 to 6:30. You're on, not on? Okay.
I was a late scratch. Miss Wolfendale is
Oh,
back.
Maggie came back. That's right. Maggie.
Maggie did a
in the
great
Real
job.
Ryder Cup.
Real Ryder Cup yesterday, raising some money as usual, and tip our hats.
Just went
to
over
Maggie.
to the Real Ryder, went over and donated a little money in her
Yeah.
name, and
We'll do it
another
later.
friend of mine in there as well. Anyhow, it's the Real Ryder Cup, RIDER. All right.
Like a rider.
Helping retired thoroughbreds.
Yeah.
What could be a more worthy cause?
Yep.
Anyhow, race number one. You know what's annoying? It seems like so often in these races, so
Did they
many
get
of
my
the interesting
email again?
horses go to the also eligible list, right?
Yeah.
And so it's to the benefit of Soufflé, who
That should be 4, 6, 8, 5, guys. I don't even know how that one got missed.
and Soufflé, dare I say it, did she come up a little flat in her debut? That just came to me. You don't think that's funny? She fell instead of rising. She was not rising. She was, like my Soufflé
Wow.
humor. She did hang a little bit in this race.
Oh, you think?
Having said that, the horse that beat her got an unbelievably great ride and trip to beat her coming up down the inside. I don't even remember who rode the winner that day. That was
She did.
That was Domus Coutinho. Yeah, I mean, but this horse got there. She got a very good trip, saved ground on the inside, angled out. She's kind of supposed to win, have to Derry Nane, but I'm not in love with her, but I didn't see anything that jumped off the page at me. Obviously, there could be first-time stars that can run, but there really wasn't much pedigree in this race.
No, not much pedigree at all. Had a little buzz on Red Butterfly.
There's a tip on this horse.
Yep. And I put her on top just because, like you said, I thought Soufflé hung just a little bit first time out. Soufflé is going to be, especially now, some of the other horses that had chances in here, Andy, were drawn on the also eligible, namely Show Me Your Hears and Fancy Pants Juliana. So Soufflé, David laying her 9 to 5 on the morning line is including those horses. She's going to be even money, maybe even less.
No, you're 100%.
So I didn't want to take her, so I just put Red Butterfly on top. I'm by no means against her.
A couple of pedigree notes. I mean, you have a tip on Red Butterfly. She is after one turf winner, more sprinter types. The second dam of both the 2 and 3, a little bit of pedigree there for the turf, kind of solid. And a Royal Shin. The second dam, they weren't really very good in the turf's first fall, but a Shin Forward could be an interesting turf sire, having won, I want to say, Group 1 over in Japan.
Japanese horse, yeah.
Right.
He stands
So,
up at.
look at that horse. Linda doesn't win with a lot of firsters, but Irad Ortiz riding this horse seemed a little interesting, right? Because he doesn't ride a lot for Linda,
No.
right? By the way, how about what's her name?
Be
Looks
exact.
great. Betsy Blue.
Actually, you know
but-
what? He actually's ridden more horses than you would think. 55 horses over the last over 2021 and 2022.
Well, that's still 21 months. So that's 2.5 a month.
Yeah.
I wonder how many she started though in that time period.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's
She ran 355 horses this year alone
right
so far.
already, and so that means he probably rides about 5% of the time.
Yeah,
for her.
if that.
Right, I'm not. You're not wrong. I don't. You rarely seem to see him ride for her, but
You feel like it was? I felt like it was considerably less.
But 1 for 20 is not very often.
No.
Anyhow, Irad Ortiz is very much in demand. I didn't try to beat Soufflé, but I don't disagree with you. If there is a reasonable firster in here, I don't like first-time starters that are short prices, especially from barns like Christophe, Todd Pletcher, Chad Brown, that win. And when their horses get bet, they're supposed to win. And even though she was very close to winning, she did not get it done. Race number 2, I mean, there really is a minimal amount of ways to go in race number 2. I'll try to wire the field with this horse, the 2 Bronx Bomber, off the claim for George Weaver. We'll take a look at the last race. Thought ran fine. Ragtime Blues was coming off a race in Mayo. It was a very logical horse last time. I'm not in love with this horse. I just preferred him over Al Cools. You went in the other direction, but I don't have a strong
it's a coin flip,
preference.
right? It's a
Well,
coin
no,
flip.
I do prefer this horse
Okay.
more, but I'm not. It's not a coin flip for me, but I'm not. I'm certainly not discounting Al Cools.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I picked Al Cools just figuring he's going to stalk from outside with Pratt off Bronx Bomber. Yeah. You know.
Got caught up in last time in a race. A Mexican Wonder Boy just ran like a wildebeest
Yep.
in there. He got like a 103 buyer. I mean, the interesting
Flamingo
horse.
horse ran well and back-to-back starts as well. So.
The interesting horse is Gemography.
Yeah.
And Rudy claiming this horse. The problem is, Rudy's started a couple of horses, right? He started that maiden that ran okay yesterday for Mike Dubb. Well, actually, I thought the horse ran very, very well, the maiden, because got involved in that pace duel, the long shot in the turf maiden race.
Right.
The 2 horse.
The sixth
That
race.
horse got pushed through some pretty tough fractions. Wasn't going to beat the winner, but certainly should have been second. Was second
Right.
best in that race and actually ran fine in there. But I think we need to take
Still
a wait and
waiting for the
see
barn
approach
to
with
heat
Rudy,
up, yeah.
especially with the claiming types.
Plus,
It's one
I-
thing with a 2-year-old, you know?
I don't know if this horse even can run anymore. This horse was running some decent figs
Well,
last year.
let me ask you, I agree with you, but let me ask you a question. If Rudy was going good, if he had coming off an 18 to
Well,
22% at Saratoga,
He's the
if he
snarky
was
pick
coming
because
off
he's
there,
going to be the third choice. And
it's the kind of horse you and I would
Yeah,
bet on, played by
absolutely.
Mike Dubb.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things to like about him because he has that back for him to go
Mm-hmm.
to, and it's not, let's be honest, you really love Al Cools or Bronx Bomber
no,
here?
no. But when you combine the way this horse's form is tailed off with the way the barn's going.
No, I agree. But if the barn was going well, I guarantee at
you
least
take
one
a-
of us
you
would have
take a
picked him, and
little-
I probably would have picked him.
Right, I would
but
have
I
picked him.
can't with the way the barn's going.
No.
And then Rue, I guess they'll try the dirt with him because he can't run the
What
turf.
else are you going to do?
Race number 3. Race number 3 is an interesting race. Now, Indemnify is the horse to beat in here, the one Indemnify. And I know, somebody said to me, do you compare this horse to Expand the Map? And I said, no, not at all.
I saw that.
Expand the Map was making her 3rd start in 14 months. This horse is making his 3rd start in 2 months. Expand the Map, the concern with her was not just losing those races at short prices. Obviously, there's some issues that she never gets to the racetrack, and she can't stay on the track.
Correct.
Whereas this horse doesn't seem to be an issue at all. He's running him every month. And he lost to a stablemate that got a perfect trip that might be a runner.
Yep.
Probably should have won first time, got victimized by a very slow pace.
dawdling pace,
I mean, he got a
50
good
and a half.
ride and good trip, but the pace killed him in there. So I don't have a big problem with this horse. I took a small shot against him because I'm kind of married to a horse in here, but I don't see why this horse is. I mean, I know he's lost twice short prices, but nothing
Yeah,
wrong
that
with
doesn't
races.
bother me that much.
So why Bobby D?
Well, I had to pick I'm not going to pick a horse despite the fact that I'm not against this horse by any means. I'm not letting the Full to Raging Bull get by me. So I took Bobby D on top, a handful of turf, or a couple of turf works up over the Oklahoma, just getting ready. I mean, look, if Indemnify shows up, he's probably going to win. But
I'd be curious to ask Peter Brandt if this horse had been over in Europe as a 2-year-old. Because I was talking to him a little bit this summer.
oh, that's a good point.
For people that don't understand the pedigree, this horse is a Full to Raging Bull. Robert De Niro played Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. Bobby D, thus the name Bobby D. This horse also after a very, very nice 2-year-old that Peter has over in Europe named Kubrick. Great director, Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
What's his best movie? I'm going to tell you what I think his best movie is.
Oh, Apocalypse Now, no?
That's Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh.
No, he made A Clockwork Orange. He made Eyes Wide Shut. He made.
I went to the wrong. I
2001: A Space
I had the
Odyssey.
wrong one movie.
Made The Shining.
I think Full Metal Jacket is amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you a movie because you haven't
That's what I
seen
meant
that
to
is
say.
his best movie.
What's that?
Perhaps Paths of Glory, with Kirk Douglas. Oh, it's a great movie.
I have not seen
Paths
that.
of Glory is probably. I would
I
guess
meant
if
to
you
say
have
Full
like
Metal
if you
Jacket.
have
Full
like
Metal
the-
Jacket's amazing. It's an amazing
He's
movie.
one of the greatest directors ever, and of course made Lolita, but he also made The Killing, the racetrack robbery movie. But I would guess if they have like the American Film Institute's top 100 movies of all time, I would guess Paths of Glory is in the top 10. Oh, it's a great movie. You should see it. Next time it's on TCM, I'll remind you.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I'm sure some of you have seen it. But anyway, I was talking to Peter because Kubrick's a 2-year-old doing well over there, and he told me something which I would doubt you knew either, that they had been training Raging Bull in Europe as a 2-year-old.
I did not know. I remember he was bred over there, but I didn't know
Either he told me
that.
he was scratched like at the gate, there was an issue or something, but they were training him over there and they brought him over here as a 3-year-old. So I wonder if this horse, in the same pattern, I know that Peter likes to train these European pedigrees, especially he's a homebred, bred in Ireland, over there. It's not a positive or a negative, I just was kind of
It's a
interested.
curious point, yeah.
I have to bet the 9 in this race. I'm sorry.
Aruba?
Aruba is an extraordinarily unlucky horse. Now, I don't love the layoff. This horse was an hour the best 3-back. And I say that having hit the exacta and bet the second horse and there, got very lucky. This got eliminated at the start in a slow-paced race. And then, you know, in this race, breaks a little bit slowly, and I think it's important to watch into the first turn. And this isn't really Irad's fault. It's more just situational. Inner turf course, you get caught a little bit wide going in that turn, it can really blow up on you a little bit, and he's going to get taken out here. But there's another thing about this horse, and it bothers me a little getting post 9. Now, he doesn't blow the turn here, but he gets caught out wide. Ira does a good job getting him in, but still, lost valuable position. He's still 3 wide at this point. You pick the race up as they go into the stretch. This horse completely blows the turn. Now, I wonder if a little bit, he was getting his momentum going. Now he's already out in the 4 path. He was in the 2 path, but look at that. You know what I mean? He kind of blows it. The horse that beat him, Royne, was a horse for Mike Dickinson that Mike had some high hopes for, and he's done pretty well actually this year. This horse has been monstrously unlucky in his last 2 starts, and I just have to bet this horse in here. I've always had a thing for this horse. I don't know if he can still run. He hasn't run in a long time, but I got to bet him.
He didn't debut until September of his 4-year-old season.
They put
Now
4
he's
races
5.
together,
Yeah,
but then
he
he's
did.
now been off for 8 months. No, I'm not. Believe me, if it wasn't a situation where I know he's going to be at least 3rd choice, because the 10 can win this race too, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, Siege of Boston ran well last time.
He did. He did. I know. And I know
Catnip was
all
in
of his
the
races have
Virginia Derby. He was
Yeah.
a lot of wise guys liked him.
All of them have been in. All of them. The races have been out of town. But yeah, I mean, he certainly has a.
No, that horse is dangerous in here.
And Peter Brand had his mark on this one too.
A lot of Peter Brandt in there,
Yeah,
right?
bred this
This one was bred by Joe Allen and Peter Brandt as well, White Birch Farm. Anyway, it's an interesting race.
Yeah.
I'm still not against the 1 here, but I think
Right.
there's more going on than just that. That's all.
Yeah. Agreed.
Race number 4. This race,
8, 1, 5, 7.
yeah, I thought you picked the 8.
That's 2 times an 8 has been left out of my picks.
Do you think that's like a thing
I
going
don't-
on
I
here?
don't- I don't
This,
know.
knowing how crazy you are, this could be a real superstitious ghost thing. You might be running out of here like with your pants on fire or something, just like
Lighter,
worried
lighter,
about
pants on fire?
No, 8, 8. It didn't come up again. That is really weird. Anthony's top choice is the 8, by the way, and we'll show Anthony's top choice. It's all relevant. I got to tell you. There you go. Thanks, guys. That's really weird, though, right?
Yeah. I don't like it. You know I'm a little put off right now.
I can be accused of picking against this horse all the time, and he just keeps winning. This horse, to me, this is kind of a Rudy litmus test horse, right?
Absolutely.
You know, because there's no he got pushed in this last race, fast pace.
45 and change, going a mile and a 16
I
to
think
boot.
Jose almost rode him. I forget who went after him. He was very good, but this is one I'm really curious to see who he does. I can't pick him, but I get it. He's way the horse to beat.
Yeah.
He's kind of a cool horse.
He's my boy. Yeah.
He ran for
he's
as low as he's run 12.5.
Yeah. I think Rudy may have run him for 8.
Yeah, I think so too. Rudy or Linda?
Linda may have run him for 8, and that's when they took him back.
Yeah, somebody ran him for 8. I think you're right. That's what I was thinking. It's off the page.
Yeah, he's such a cool horse.
He is, and I just can't. I just don't trust him. And I
So you
get
have to Greenpoint Crusader.
sounds right.
Is that right?
I think it's possible. Green Lantern. Yeah, he was in Greenwood.
9 for 17 here at the Big A. He's earned over
No, he's a very, very
$250,000.
cool horse, but I don't trust him. And the way at a short price, I'm just going to let this barn beat me with horses like
You know
this.
how excited I was for this race? I got to pick 2 of my pets.
Kumar? Yeah, I got to tell you, I know this is a much, much easier spot than Kumar was in
Back
last
to the
time.
one turn,
And this is
too.
a well, he's run well at 2 turns. This is a much, much easier spot for this horse. I mean, last time was
compared to what he's been running
last
against?
time was not a 20. Last time was like a 30,
maybe
like a
even
32
bigger,
or
right.
bigger. There was a big drop down in the winter.
Dust Devil came back
came
and
back
won
to win
yesterday.
yesterday. You were right though about the second horse. He came to play yesterday.
He
It was
woke
a
up
tough beat,
yesterday,
Thank you. The problem I have with Dust Devil is the one good race, or not Kumar, 3 back, is that's a fake race.
Yeah,
It's
it's on
a
an
big
island.
speed track and really is a phonied up
Well,
fig.
you mean knock the 10 points off, it falls in lines with
I
most
know,
of his
but I
figs,
don't-
right? High 80, low 80, high 70s, low
But
80s.
he lost to No Burn, you know, he's
Yeah.
chasing paces.
Last
There
two
were
races,
some
he had
tough
no- he had
fields.
no
Yeah,
chances in
no,
his
I
last two
know. I
races.
may have him too low. He can
No
definitely
chances
win
in
this
his
race.
last two races.
I got a little goofy. I can't trust Lil Commissioner. Drops down off of a voided claim last time when he didn't run well after he ran so well, and this is his race 2 back. And he ran really well, but it felt like this was sort of a big drop down. They got away with it, but you wonder how much he has left in the tank, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm not against him.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to pick him, which is why I picked Dark Storm.
The void bothers you. The void bothers me a little bit too. I probably would have picked the race 8-5 without the void because I think like Kumar in his last two, he just ran against better horses.
No,
last time.
I don't disagree. Well,
A little bit.
a little bit.
I mean, take it's all relevant out. The field was tougher head to toe. I
So,
think.
as far as Dark Storm, I do have no argument that his form has not been terrific. There is an argument that the rail was not the place to be, that he ran. Now, he got outrun by a horse who was inside, but he was outside of him, a 46-1 shot, but he was not right on the rail. I wonder if maybe the rail hurt this horse last time out, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to give him another chance. I don't love the angle. He is a horse that at times has run races. I think it's fair to say his form has declined. It declined at a time that the barn was doing very well.
And at least you're gonna at least you're gonna pick a horse that's gonna be a little bit of a price.
Yeah, I was
You're not a
against so
Kumar
many
guy.
horses.
I
No,
got it.
I've liked
Little
Kumar at
Commissioner,
times, and I
yeah.
probably could have had him higher. I could have had him second and tried to bet against both the 8 and 5. I don't love this horse. I just am playing against horses that I just do not trust. We'll break after 5, by the way, guys.
Oh, by the way, that starts a bonus pick 5 today. Mandatory payout races 4 through 8. You thought you were gonna get that by me, didn't you?
I'd actually forgotten about it.
Nothing gets by me, Andy.
I know, nothing. Yeah, I know. You're like... race number 5 lost a...
3, 4, 8, 9.
Well, it lost a big player when the 5, Once a Giant, came out, and you scratched, I believe, into my top choice. We'll take a look at Umbria and the Slop. This is back in April. This horse has only had one start in the dirt since this race. Now, it says stumbled. This horse stumbled forward, and in no way would I use the stumble this horse had in his last dirt race as an excuse.
I agree.
Because he stumbled forward. It didn't really seem to affect him. He was just bad.
We didn't talk a lot about this in Saratoga.
Was a quick pace,
This would be the button, right? If you could skip
It was
a
a
race.
quick- yeah, it was
If you
a
could
quick-
skip a race and not make a pick, this would be the race.
It was a quick pace, this race, but Pineapple Man was the speed, and he finished second. Now, Pineapple Man's okay, but I don't know. I mean, what are you supposed to do in
Where
this
am I supposed to
race?
go?
The only other horse that I could pick here is the 8.
The recent form
Amadeus
in here
Music.
is just abysmal.
Speaking
It's
of Amadeus,
absolutely
there's a
abysmal.
Milos Forman Film Festival at Film Forum going on right now. I'm surprised you haven't been going.
I'm not, you know,
Fireman's Ball.
gonna miss it.
Like, what great movie besides Amadeus did he direct?
Who's this?
Milos Forman.
I don't know.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh.
Think of this as a film education day.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
know that he directed that? Czechoslovak director? Great director. Oh, he's got a lot of interesting movies. Anyway, Amadeus Music did run pretty well, 2 back. Don't know what happened in the sealed track last time. We'll see.
I thought Lucky Brody was a little interesting. We'll see if the Noda
Really?
Barn, see if the Noda Barn starts cooking with heat.
You love this horse. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't love this horse at all. I think the BC Glory Days out of the race he comes out of is the better horse to take.
Huh?
I will say with Amadeus Music, I'm curious to see what happens with Jeffrey Engelhart at some point because he couldn't be stopped at Aqueduct
No, and these
last
horses
year.
have gone-
And once we left Aqueduct, at least at the in Ira tracks, they can't get out of their own way. And I wonder if he'll start to heat up again now that we're at the big A. He didn't run a lot of horses.
No, he did not.
He didn't. It's interesting to see. That's the first 5, the pick 6 for a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Want to thank our sponsors at Saratoga Water. We need to get some of those Saratoga Water bottles here, not only for the set, but so I can drink them as well.
I know you love to drink your Saratoga.
I do.
Your sparkling
He's
water.
Anthony. I mean, I'll drink both. We went
You
back and
prefer the
forth.
sparkling?
Well, I prefer the sparkling, but it's Saratoga in the summer when it's hot out. I drink the flat.
It's easy to drink the flat.
But I do like the sparkling. I love
I
it.
know you do.
I'm big on that.
It's effervescent.
It is. So race number 6. Race number 6. What'd you do here?
I had 3 top picks scratched today, I think.
Yeah, probably good for you.
Can you just leave a comment alone every now
No,
and
I
then?
have to say it every time.
I scratch into Padma. I'm not happy about it. Thought she ran well enough first time out of a big fig race. But you know, she took a little money. She was 8-1.
She lost to a stablemate.
Yeah, I thought she ran
Big
well.
was a big price.
Yeah, big stablemate broke from the rail and just kept going that day.
I don't want her at a short price.
You know what's funny? I was told Junior Alvarado had his choice of horses and he picked this one.
Who was the other
Although
horse?
Socially selective.
Oh. Oh. Well,
So
listen, horses show different things in the
Yeah.
morning. They show in the afternoon. It's
For
not
sure.
like, you know, I mean, you think about, and we'll come with Expressman today. Expressman was one of 2 horses.
the other part of the entry,
They were betting the other half of the entry. They weren't betting Expressman.
he only ran a
And
107.
I remember, right, he ran 107 Byron. I remember I saw Irad in the winner's circle. He rode the other one. And he was waiting for Todd. And I said to him, am I wrong? Wasn't the tip on the horse you were riding? And he laughed and he said, I think so. That's what I thought. Something like that's what I thought. You know, it's like, that's the game, you know? I mean, horses will surprise you both ways. And I'm sure Expressman, I mean, I don't think they expect to run 107 Byron. We'll get to that race in a bit.
This horse ran well. I mean,
I didn't think he ran particularly. She ran well, but I think she can win here.
she
But
beat the rest of the field by almost 7
I
lengths.
know, I know. But
And
it was
I'll
fast
tell you the
enough.
one thing that surprised me a little bit. You would think with her pedigree, the next logical step would have been a stretch out, but he runs her back. But Bill runs her back at the 6.
Well, I'm not going to get into that conversation. You've got Candy Strike second. Why would we get him a homebred from Al Shakab? Really?
Oh,
think
I was
this
giving a little. I was giving a little nudge on this one.
Oh, there's a pip on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a little tip on this one.
Well, you know who a colt is a half to?
A Colt? I do not. I do not. I know the dam was 12 for 22, but I do not know who to call.
Exulting. Exulting.
The-
I mean, the score would
the-
have broke his maiden for Kieran 7-1 at Belmont. I like Royal Poppy here. I'm betting Royal Poppy. I want to show the head-on, the first quarter mile, number 5 here. The horse will stumble there, right?
Yep.
And then gets kind of cut off and bounced around a little
It
bit.
was weird.
behind.
Kind of stumbled and then threw the head in the air.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you don't see that often.
you can still see it right there, right?
Uh-huh.
The horse is definitely sort of
Not happy.
Not happy, tough spot. Now we'll
Watch
watch
here at
it,
the pan.
and you see the horse is virtually back to last here, second to last. This horse does some amazing job of getting right up there towards the leaders, right? I mean, look where this horse gets to.
Yeah, forward march to
And
the front.
was chasing a horse who may have failed in her debut, but she was as good as any. You know, she and Prank were the 2 stars of the filly division up there. Imagine she's waiting for the Frizette. But this horse really ran up against her. And, you know, people say, well, she was 20-1 in her debut. Well, there were tips on about 47 horses
That
in
was
this
the
race,
race,
and you
yeah.
had Chocolate Gelato.
Right.
So, frankly, 20-1 wasn't dead in the board
No.
in that race. And I got to think
Certainly
with a
not something
clean
you're gonna
break,
worry
this horse
about.
can be in front in here. And I'm betting Royal Poppy in this race.
Yeah.
I like her chances today.
Okay.
With my man Trevor McCarthy on her.
Big price.
Race number 7. Running 11 and 12 furlong turf races in September for 3-year-olds is a problematic concept. So unless you're getting Euros, there are situations that become problematic. And we have 6-horse fields for both these races. We'll start and we'll talk about McCulloch, who's the heavy favorite in here. I don't see, you know, listen, you never know how effective they are, the distances. She had no problems her winning a mile and a quarter, 2 races back. She was compromised at Saratoga because with the Moonlight, who had to chase the pace outside when the rail was good, while McCulloch stayed ground for much of the race. She had the run of the race. McCulloch had more of the run of the race in this race, and Into the Moonlight had more of the run of the race in the next one. And Into the Moonlight showed how good she is with that performance a week later in the Lake Placid, where
2
she ran
weeks,
second
yeah.
to a horse that I bet. And was it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
But yeah, 13 days, right? It was
Yep.
like a Sunday to a Saturday.
Sunday to Saturday. Yes, sir.
I mean, I was fortunate to win with Hardy. Into the Moonlight was much the best that
Sure.
day. Much the best. And I just think she might just be better than these horses. I don't know.
I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
I just think she's better than these horses.
Now, I am a lot more scared of Beside herself than you are. I will say, and I know she got loose last time. We'll take a look at her last race. First of all, these were older horses. they're not killers, but they're not a bunch of
No,
bums.
they're older horses.
And it's not like she went 26, 51, and it was a.
No, she ran.
I mean, she wasn't going super fast, but
She ran.
she
It was an
running.
honest. It was an honest pace.
Yeah, she was running, and she ran through the wire. Now, you go back and say, well, what happened that she made up the 6 lengths that she lost to McCulloch, 3 back? Maybe she improved. Maybe she improved with distance. Maybe being able to, control in the situation. She wasn't able to control
she's
that
back
day.
a little quick for the barn, right? Less than 4 weeks.
But you've got to run her here the way
Oh,
she
you got to
ran.
run her here because she's going to be 3 and she's supposed to be 3 in front in here.
Well, you have to think after that race, and I remember talking about it on Sarah Live, saying that Todd's got to run in this race. I know it's coming back soon, but I mean, you run a race like that, you have to be thinking if she runs well,
Must.
this is where she's going to go.
It was the best race of her career by far. Yeah.
And she's going to get clear in here. I'm scared of her. Why the 5?
So the 5 was a filly that Ian Wilkes has been high on, Miss Yearwood, and
Okay.
kept mentioning distance. Thought she was going to want to run all day. Problem, obviously, in this country is if you're going to want to run all day, you're going to most likely have to
Her
be a
last
turf
race is
horse.
atrocious. I mean, her last race, she's the worst race any horse in this race.
And
has
that's
run.
all well and good, but at the very least, it showed she could turf. And I'm going to hope that, beside herself coming back a little quick, and this filly handles extra distance
This
the way
one's
the
got
barn
some
hoped.
ride by Chris Landeros to beat an absolutely awful field. Absolutely. And Chris gave her as good a ride. I wish you good luck. I'm always happy to see you and do well. He won a couple at Churchill yesterday. It's funny, I was talking to Bill Mott about Nostalgic before the Alabama, and he said he had worked her on the turf. She worked well. She had big feet for it and everything. He said, I can't run her on the turf. She ran so badly
She
in
didn't run
Florida.
2 steps.
And I said, and he agreed, you don't want to just completely give up on the turf based on a race down at Gulfstream or turf
Right.
course. But my God, she was so bad.
terrible.
And the other thing is, she's not very good. She's going to have to improve a lot in the turf to be competitive.
Yeah, she's not fleet of foot. She's not fast. She doesn't have fast feet. Yeah, she's.
I mean, it's funny because Bill
She is.
had run 3rd with Royal Delta, the CCA Oaks, before she won the Alabama so easily. And I said to Bill, this was the day before, and I said to him, the 3rd in CCA Oaks, I said, well, she did the same thing Royal Delta did, but somehow I don't quite think she's Royal Delta. And we laughed about it. Listen, he's done well. She won the Gazelle. Toscana Belle is the obvious horse that people are going to try to beat the favorite with, and she's going to handle the distance. We'll show her last race where she wired the field, and she's actually able to hold on. I'll tell you what I loved about watching this video. The track looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go there. I was looking at all the scenes, like the horse going to the backstretch and stuff. It really looked cool.
It looks like an outfield at a baseball stadium.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is just watching the race, just thinking, I gotta go to that track, you run
You
a
head
little
into
silence for
Germany,
that
get a little
answer.
schnitzel.
Yeah. Well, I probably would have been there right now if Jerry Garcia had lived a little longer. I don't know. I don't love the field that she ran against. I thought they were just fair.
Okay.
So for that reason, I wasn't sure how good they were. I think that the Euro in the other race is probably a stronger one. We'll see what happens. And distance, obviously, a big factor. And we know the 6 and 4 can handle it. We don't know for sure that
We don't know.
can. Race number 8, King Angelo came out. Maybe he was afraid it was going to come off the turf, so he scratched in preparation.
I was waiting for this.
I hope he's okay because he passed up on a sure win in Saratoga, scratching out of an off the turf race. So I didn't show Phantom Smoke's last race, and Irad Ortiz put on a clinic against Eric Cancel in his last
Unbelievable.
race that was almost embarrassing. I mean, Eric was riding the fast horse in deep cover, and Irad race rode that race about
After
as
this horse
perfectly
broke through the gate.
as you possibly can. Yep.
After this horse
Yep.
broke through the gate.
Well, he went a little bit, and Eric didn't want to go. That was
Yeah.
and I picked him that day, and deep cover should. You like deep cover, I think. Deep cover should have won.
I probably had deep cover. The way the meet
No,
went,
deep
I
cover
probably had
should have won that race.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. I don't love him. He ran really well 3 back, but he has just not run that well in his next 2 starts. You and I have the same goofy idea here. I don't know why you like Harpy's Dream.
Cutting back to the sprint, right? He probably just didn't, probably a little bit out of his scope going long last time. He was a horse, this is a horse the Barnes liked from day one. You look at his first 2 turf sprints, they're really good. Then he
Well,
went
he ran much faster going longer, so it's not clear
did.
that he wasn't a 2-year-old sprinting.
But he only had one. He's only had one sprint. It was behind Big Invasion
I
off
picked
6
him.
months. Yeah.
I picked him, but I think it is fair to say when you say maybe it was too far, maybe it wasn't. Maybe he improved with more distance.
Maybe.
Now he also may have improved as a 3-year-old from his 2-year-old year.
That's what I'm hoping,
And
right?
the horse
I
he
hope
beat,
the
Urban
same
Forest,
thing.
is no killer, but she's okay, or he's okay. And the other thing is, and I was going to ask Trevor about this. You see the Comet 3-2 path duel. This was the gold rail period. Now, on the inner turf, now one thing I know is that Trevor's acutely aware of track biases. Yet he kept this horse at least a path, if not 2 paths off the rail, the entire way, if you watch the head-on. He's never, ever on the rail.
Did he wind up inside horses 2 back? Did he wind up inside horses 2 back and maybe wasn't comfortable in there? I can't remember.
But why wouldn't you go to the Gold Hedge?
Yeah, I don't know.
He was in front. He was up by 2 lengths. Why wouldn't he? Wasn't inside of horses. He was clear.
Yeah.
And I'm actually meant to ask Trevor because I know that he's aware of those things. And I wonder if it was maybe it is some instructions, just whatever. I don't know the case.
Sure.
I just didn't love anybody. I think immortalization obviously gets much more dangerous in here with the scratch to number 1. This horse could be in front of the claim. She beat such a weak field ladder he did last time.
Bad bunch.
I mean, he was 6-5. He could have been 3-5 in there, but he's not untalented. And I wouldn't.
What about Johnny Lambo?
What about him?
I don't know. I kind of like the way he finished up last time. I know he got away with murder on the front
That was quite a
end,
field he ran against.
It was terrible field. But
Awful.
I don't know. It's a year later now. He was a little interesting to me.
Okay, not for me, but okay.
I just don't. I mean, isn't it hard to really? I mean, I know you have him second, but man, it's just hard to like Phantom Smoke.
No, I probably should have gone 7-9 for.
Yeah.
I actually believe that Klickitat is the worst to beat in here, and we'll take a look at his last race. His last race was just against.
When was the last time Junior Alvarado rode a horse for Linda Rice?
Yeah. Who's out of town today? Joel, Jose Ortiz? They're both at Churchill. Oh, maybe up in Canada. This was the most amazing 8-1 shot of the entire year. How this horse been 8-1, I'll absolutely never know. He's got to go to 6. There's a big difference between 7 furlongs and 6 furlongs.
And now there's another layoff.
Well, that's this. I found a very curious stat for Linda.
Oh, you want to? Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Oh.
2 to 6 month layoffs off the claim. 0 for 15 with 5 hitting the board. She's 0 for 5 and 0 for 4 in sprints, none hitting the board.
That's no good.
I can't imagine that she claimed this horse back in May thinking, I want to get Betty for that Belmont at Aqueduct meeting, which, by the way, we didn't even know was happening back in May.
Right. Fingers are crossed.
But so that concerns me, and this stat, and then I think the 6 furlong race she found. And it almost makes me think Linda feels like the horse might need a race as well. Because it's not as though this horse can't be effective at 2 turns. He's run fine in distance races, right? He's had some unlucky trips. But I also think he has run the best race of anybody in here.
That's fair to say.
You know, so he can win. We'll see what happens. We'll see. You and I are playing the same goofy horse in here. We'll see how it works out.
Yep.
Race number 9. Number 9?
Number 9?
Yeah.
Number 9.
I am taking a bit of a crazy shot. I texted Chad Brown and said I was take a shot with Nabokov, and he suggested I might be mildly crazy. But he wasn't, I was just saying that I thought Nabokov might have a shot in here. And I think that more because being Expressman's not going to be easy. Not that Nabokov.
No, you don't think so?
Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
You're just upset because Eddie Vedder said, here's the thing at the Garden the other night. I think he was channeling his inner Stabile.
Yeah.
Think he has an inner Stabile?
Everybody has an inner Stabile.
You're right. Most don't know it, but everybody does.
Most are afraid to let it out, but
we can show the
everybody
replay
has
of Expressman so you don't have to look at our ugly faces
Don't
any
be
longer.
afraid. Let it out. Embrace it.
Obviously, this horse is going to be very tough to beat. But this horse was the wrong half of the entry. And
Does that still matter after a 107 buyer?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to see, and I'll tell you something else. Speed was very, very good this day at Saratoga. Speed dominated the dirt races. And that I wonder a little about. And I'll say something else. This horse is not going to have some easy time on the front end in here. He's quick, but there's other horses with speed in this race. Do you think he's going to clear Prisoner? You know?
Yeah, if Prisoner wants to lead, it's Prisoner's lead.
Prisoner's got to go.
Yeah.
Luis Saez doesn't rate.
Yeah.
I found this stat. Second start, broke their maidens their debut at Dirt on Naira, and I was taking it apart. That's just 22%, 2 for 9. $1.19 ROI. I broke it down more. With odds-on horses, Todd is 5 for 11, which ostensibly, obviously,
And this horse will
think
be
is
odds-on.
terrific. But 5 for 11 ain't cutting it in odds-on races with a $1.53 ROI. So while they're winning, it doesn't feel like some of them. And I looked them up. I was looking at the buyers, and I think if you look at them in total, there was one sample I looked at where they ran an average of 6 or more buyer points slower in their next start. But listen, you did have horses that came back and ran better, but you had a lot of them that came back and ran worse. Timeform does not have the race quite as good as Andy. They have it maybe around a 102, which is still obviously very good. This horse is probably going to win. I'm not an idiot, but I feel like this pace could be at least honest here, and I don't know if Nabokov can run at all anymore. But his first race was actually very good, even though the Fig came back light, because he was really ran well in there, and then he ran well at Belmont. And I just wonder if maybe cutting him back a little bit in distance. You know me, I'm a sucker for turnbacks, even though Chad Brown's Norwood turnbacks are not good, this may fit in that category, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a desperation move here. Because you have to admit, it's a bit of a desperation move. This has been awful.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a small shot with him. Because the other thing is, I don't want anybody else to beat the favorite.
No,
here.
be
And
tough
the
to beat
favorite's
him.
probably going to win. I'm not
Yeah.
standing on a pedestal. I'm just going to
much
take a
else to
very small chance on the 5 Nabokov. Are you going to be a little verklempt during the running of this race?
Why?
The final leg of the.
See, well,
Anthony blames me, by the way, and you know I'm going to take the heat for the. I'm willing to take the heat
there's
for this.
no
Getting rid of
the Grand Prix Jockey
Grand Prix
Club,
American.
Grand Prix American Jockey Club Invitational.
Yeah, we forgo. What is the forgoed? No, what would be the past tense?
I'm so heartbroken.
No, we didn't want to run a 4-horse field today, so we got rid of that race.
I'm so, it's been a tough time. I told everybody this. The last couple of months, it's just been a tough time mentally and physically, and you just added to my
The forgot.
my distraughtness.
Forgoed. We got to find out the. If you're texting me to tell me the correct pronunciation, my phone's in my
You've
apartment,
forsaken one of my
office.
pleasures in life.
So,
Getting rid of that race.
Nation's Prize and Classic Causeway. We're moving on to race 10, guys. You haven't moved on, but we have.
We have.
We have moved
I
on.
mean, I'm still stuck on the GP, A, J, C.
This is Nation's Pride beating Classic Causeway. And he didn't get left like he did the time before, and William Buick rode him to get in the race. Obviously, he's not here. Frankie Dettori is here, and we'll get to that in a second, to ride him. He's going to have to dog Classic Causeway again in this race. But I'm not sure, oddly, that more ground doesn't favor Classic Causeway in an odd way.
Just being able to kind of dole out the speed
Yeah,
and stretch it
Nation's
out?
Pride's going to have to
Okay.
make sure he plays his game a little bit more. I was impressed with him. I'm going to try to beat both of them. I went 6-3-1. I respect Nation's Pride, but I don't know. These horses really, and by the way, we need to get the time in for that race. Craig Milkowski knows the accurate time of this race. The accurate buyer is 93, I believe.
Okay.
They can't input a buyer figure for a race that doesn't have a time inputted.
So
This was a
93
grade 1 we
for,
ran in Saratoga. We owe it to our customers, the bettors, to have a final time. This race was run a month and run 42 days ago, 6 weeks ago. It's not right. Goodnight Olive won the grade 1, and we didn't have a time in for that race. Craig Milkowski knows the clock started 3.8 seconds early. Just subtract 3.8 seconds from every posted time. Craig is the world's biggest authority on timing races. There's nobody better. The Jockey Club knows this. Other people know it. The fact that we're not using them, I think, is a real disservice to our customers, and that's what we're here for you guys. And there has to be a time for this race, and he knows it, and Beyer knows it, and that's why the race got around in 93. I don't think these horses are that good. They're okay.
They might not be.
And that's why I'm not afraid to try to beat them with Aardvark. Don't you like Artican? Artican.
Why do you have to call them Aardvark?
I don't know, because I could never remember their names, and I knew it started with ARD when I was on the show the other day.
Wow.
I said, I know it's an ARD.
All right.
We can go to Hopper Garden. Hopper Garden looks like a nice place, too, where he finishes third.
Gotten.
Now, do you remember the horse who beat him?
Yeah, the UAE Derby winner.
Right, but that's not the story. He won the UAE Derby in 2021, and he was at Belmont Park, I believe, getting ready for the Belmont Stakes and got hurt shortly before the race.
Yes, he did.
And the interesting thing about him is he never ran the turf until he was a 4-year-old. That's Rebel's Romance, the horse who beat him. He's a 4-year-old who beat him in that race. He won a Group 3 over somewhere. Goodwood? I think Goodwood.
Okay.
And he's not a bad horse. And he may be a horse they're running on dirt that turned out the turf was the right surface.
horse.
He's a Godolphin Appleby horse. And I'm not saying they're killers he beat, but the speed finished 4th, ran 4th in a grade 1, but it was 4th of 4, so it wasn't really that good. This horse ran against Martel earlier in the year. Martel was 3rd in a Group 3 at Chantilly. And also came back and I think won the Prix Neal. So this horse is running against some, Prix is an ARC prep, in case you don't know it, Longchamp. This horse is running against some real horses. And I know, Germany and stuff, this horse was 10 to 1 last time. It was not a short price.
No.
And one thing you know, he's not going to have a problem with the distance.
No.
And I don't think either of the two favorites are that good.
I don't
They're
like
good,
the, yeah,
but
I don't like
think
the
they're
horses
killers.
coming in from Germany, but if you want to take a shot against them, it's not like they have.
They
they've
won,
set
they
the
won our
place on
Gold
fire.
Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, that German horse won the Gold Cup, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Arctic
I just like the fact that we're going to settle it here in Queens.
Yeah, you're right.
1-1.
Where it really meant to be settled. Yeah.
All rivalries
Yeah.
should
All
be
right,
settled in
yeah,
Queens.
Yeah, you make a great point. And Articon is going to make it 3 winners of the different divisions.
And then where do they go settle it? Let's have a rematch. We have a rematch.
Really interesting point.
I would
You
do
want
it
to put
here.
up $1 million? Maybe we can get the same 6 back in November.
I know. I'll put up a few
I don't know if any of these are
dollars.
going to
Oh,
the.
$1 million.
Well, Kenny McPeak said that Classic Causeway could go to the Champions Day at Ascot.
That's 2 weeks before the British.
I'm assuming he I'm assuming he meant as a fan, not to run. I mean, race number 11. So you got good news. Anthony's picks weren't posted, so you guys got a favor here.
This is amazing. There's an 8 involved.
You thinking that somebody's
4, 8, 9, 1.
somebody's trying to tell you something? So we'll take a look at Royal
Sabotage.
Dancer losing to $1 million to 1 shot at the wire last time, going a mile. By the way, Royal Dancer got some ride by Irad here. They went early, and so he had to rate. What a ride Irad gave this horse. And it's funny with Irad, we were kind of tough on him in the beginning and saying he's winning a lot of races, and he's not riding that well. I thought the last 5 or 6 weeks of the meet, he rode really, really, really well. I mean, he was in tune to the bias and the turf in these situations. He was riding well. This was just one of those sort of amazing losses. She is so much better than these horses. I know she's had a bunch of chances, but she's got a lot of excuses. She's going to win today in all likelihood at a very short price.
Okay.
What possible chance does Shinful have here? Oh, we're back to 118. I won the.
Yeah.
There are only 2 claims in the race, at
That was
least 4 of
ridiculous.
5. Go ahead. I want you to explain how this horse has a prayer in here.
I'm hoping second off the little bit of the break and
Can run 5 or
just
6
work
lengths
out-
better than he's
just
ever
work
run
out
before.
just work out a trip off of the speed and try to get. You don't have the source anywhere.
She can't win.
we
Why
gotta-
would I have
we
her
gotta
there?
pick- we gotta
There are
pick.
interesting horses in this race, and she's not one of them.
So let's pick one. Who do you want? You want 1 against 4?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
1 against 4 for 2 lunches or 1?
Sure, 2's fine.
Okay, 118. Royal Currency actually ran pretty well last time. Came in and had some real trouble at the start last time. Legit trouble. I think ran fine. I think Aleste is a little interesting in here. This horse has a lot of turf pedigree. The dam, I think, was 4 for 14 in the turf. First and second 8 times. It's an Astern, and Astern is more of a
Coming
turf
back,
sprinter.
yeah.
Yeah, and this horse was in contention before collapsing in that race, and that race did kind of fall apart. I think Aleste is a very interesting horse, and that's my main horse to try to beat the 8. I'm going to use the 2 and 8 mostly. Okay. And now you even left. Well, you got TT third, but I mean, you pick all of his horses. Why can't this horse improve?
Can absolutely can.
Probably all my top 4 will be your top choice in here. Yeah, I would guess at least 3 of them will. Anyhow, we done?
I'll give you a lunch. If I'll give you, how about 2 lunches if they all beat them?
All.
Right, and I get 2 lunches if I win.
Okay, I like that bet. If 1,
If bet.
2,
A
8,
Saturday
9
if
all
bet.
beat 4, 2 lunches. 4 wins, 2 lunches.
lunches.
I like that bet. No, it's a good one. I like that one because we each have to accomplish something, or the horses have to accomplish something while we sit by and act like we're doing something. Here.
Now I kind of hope it comes in 8, 2, 9, 4.
Let me tell you something. I hope it comes in 8-2 as well. So I'll be very happy to give you those 2
If
lunches.
it comes in 8, 2, 9,
Believe
4.
me, I will. That'd be I'll be laughing. Like it will not spoil my party. All right, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, what are you waiting for?
No idea. He's gonna come. He's gonna come from dead last to get you guys if you
coming
don't
for
go
you.
sign up.
We use promo code MATCH200. We will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Head over to NairaBets.com. You can bet $50 to win in the Woodbine Mile. I don't know
It's
what
a
race that
bankroll
is.
builder for fall racing. I don't know what that means.
I guess you get $20 right away. So get $20 back essentially. It's not well explained there.
It was like the Great Gazoo just
See
show up
sight
and hand
for
you
the
20 bucks.
details.
Remember the Great Gazoo from?
He used to ride here. You don't know that there was a yes. I'm not going to, I don't want to. It's not mean. There was a rider who's no longer riding here that used to wear a helmet that looked big, and it used to always remind me of the Great Gazoo.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
And I always thought of the Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
The Great Gazoo was the character on the Flintstones,
Yes,
right?
correct.
The alien.
Yeah.
They had it all, the Flintstones, didn't they?
They had everything.
They really had it
Love
all
the
going on.
Flintstones.
Now, the Flintstones, was that like an animated Honeymooners?
Yes.
It was, right? Okay. Without Jackie Gleason, though. 12 to
great Jackie
6:30,
Gleason.
America's Day at the Races here in Churchill. A lot of interesting steaks at Churchill as well. I imagine you wrote some stuff up for that as well?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
Well, you can watch the show and get my opinion of those steaks.
There you go.
If you want. We're done.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
You have a wonderful day. John Imbrial, the voice of the New York Racing Association, at least for now. He'll be up next, the reprise of Scratches and Changes.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.